The release of Who I Smoke catapulted into an overnight sensation, swiftly amassing a staggering 8.6 million views on YouTube within a mere 2 weeks. The song quickly entrenched itself as a ubiquitous presence across social media platforms, serving as the perfect sonic backdrop for a myriad of user-generated videos on popular apps like Twitter and TikTok. The track is a unique transformation of Vanessa Carlton's debut hit single from 2002, 1,000 Miles, into a blood-soaked spectacle of guns and violence. This unexpected juxtaposition has captivated fans who simply can't get enough of it. But there's a deeper, grimmer story that lies behind the track Who I Smoke. This is a reflection of the hip-hop culture and the tragic state that we found our society in. In reality, this track is a spawn of a gang war that took away countless lives and deeply saddened families all over the country. In order to understand how we got to witness such a sinister yet catchy track as Who I Smoke, we first have to briefly unravel all the events that inspired Young and Ace and his fellow artists to create such a song, the Jacksonville Gang War. Allegedly, one of Young and Ace's most formidable shooters goes by the name of Queso, currently facing 2 charges of first-degree murder. Queso played a pivotal role in propelling the Jacksonville rap violence into the limelight. He took matters to the extreme by allegedly murdering Foolio's 16-year-old brother, Bibby, in a shocking incident. Back in February of 2019, Bibby and a friend were sitting outside his apartment when an assailant approached and opened fire. Tragically, Bibby and his companion attempted to flee, but the assailant relentlessly pursued and ultimately claimed Bibby's life. The impact of losing a younger brother is profoundly distressing, yet Queso and Young and Ace did not stop there. Queso had already attracted suspicion due to the extent of his disrespectful remarks about Bibby in both music and social media. However, before the authorities had gathered enough evidence for his arrest, Queso allegedly committed another murder with assistance from his own father. In 2018, Queso's brother, Boss Goon, was released from prison after serving 7 years for burglary. He aimed to turn his life around and pursue a music career instead of remaining involved in street activities. Fortunately, tragedy struck just as Boss Goon was embarking on his new path. On January 16, 2019, Boss Goon performed at a Jacksonville club attended by his father and several relatives who came to show their support. After the show, they all loaded into the same car. However, before they could depart, unknown assailants drove by and opened fire. The entire car's occupants were struck by bullets, and tragically, Boss Goon lost his life. Following Boss Goon's death, the KTA affiliate named Lil Buck released a diss track targeting Boss Goon. This fueled Queso's belief that Lil Buck was involved in the murder. Consequently, Queso's allegedly orchestrated a brazen daylight attack on Lil Buck outside a mall. During this altercation, Queso and 2 accomplices allegedly shot Lil Buck. As one of the assailants stood over Lil Buck's body, the police arrived at the scene and initiated a pursuit. Queso and his partners attempted to flee, but ultimately crashed their car in a residential neighborhood. While Queso managed to escape, his associates broke into a random house and took a woman hostage. They proceeded to steal clothing from the woman's husband and made arrangements for someone to pick him up. Later, the hostage identified Queso's associates Dominic Barner and Leroy Whitaker from a lineup, recognizing them by their tattoos. Barner's subsequent arrest presented a significant setback for Queso. During police interrogations, Barner allegedly identified Queso as the shooter and also implicated Queso's father for providing transportation after the home invasion and shooting. Just a mere week prior to the release of the track Who I Smoke, a song that unabashedly disrespects a number of rappers, including Bibby, Queso finds himself formally charged with the very murder of Bibby.
A local rapper linked to a violent gang in Jacksonville is in jail on 2 separate murder charges.
Hakeem Robinson was charged in connection with the 2019 murder of 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor Jr.
In the midst of these events, law enforcement officials remain actively in pursuit of Abdul Robinson Jr., brother of Queso, who's been a wanted fugitive since February, implicated in the murder of Lil Buck. Interestingly, this intricate family affair has prompted the authorities to intensify their scrutiny of all individuals associated with these shootings, particularly Queso's father. Law enforcement has already implicated Abdul Robinson Sr., suggesting his involvement as a prominent figure within the ATK crime organization. The unfolding developments within this family-run fiasco have shed light on a broader network encompassing these incidents, drawing attention to law enforcement agencies seeking to uncover the truth.
And the ATK gang, Ace's top.
As additional evidence, including self-incriminating statements, continued to accumulate, law enforcement agencies widened their investigations, setting their sights on ATK as a fully fledged criminal organization. The authorities took a bold step by designating designating Queso's father as a reputed crime family boss with a 30-year tenure in Jacksonville. This development underscored the depth and breadth of their pursuit, implicating not only individuals but also painting a larger picture of organized criminal activity in the region. The investigation delved into the intricate web of connections and operations surrounding ATK, leaving no stone unturned in the pursuit of justice. Meanwhile, as Queso and his family found themselves behind bars, the ongoing feud between ATK and KTA continued to unfold both in the streets and through the medium of music. Surprisingly, the feud even spilled over onto the social media platform Clubhouse, where an unexpected conversation took place just 2 days before the release of Who I Smoke on March 26, 2021. In a rather bizarre turn of events, Young and Ace and his nemesis, a rapper who goes by the name of Foolio, along with surviving members from both sides of this beef, including Zion Brown's sister, a target of ATK's attempted attacks, found themselves in the same Clubhouse room. This unlikely gathering sparked a conversation that many fans of Jacksonville rap could have never anticipated. During this discussion, Foolio recounted a fight he had with ATK's Lil Popper at a mall in Jacksonville back in 2018. Interestingly, Foolio argued to Ace that the altercation lasted longer than what was captured in the video footage, highlighting discrepancies between the public perception and the actual events that transpired. This unexpected Clubhouse conversation served as a rare and unexpected moment of direct interaction between key players involved in the ongoing feud. It provided an intriguing glimpse into the dynamics of the conflict and offered fans a surreal experience they could hardly have imagined. 2 days later, on March 28, 2021, Young and Ace, along with Spinna Beans, Wappa with Choppa, and Fast Money Goon, unleashed their game-changing track, Who I Smoke. This song boldly and ruthlessly dissed a multitude of adversaries, including Bibby, Tiki, Lil 9, Lil Petty, Trey D, and Rod K. What sets this track apart was the clever use of a sample from Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles, devilishly remixed to create an irresistibly catchy backdrop for their lyrics about smoking their deceased enemies. In no time, Who I Smoke went viral, garnering millions of views and attracting attention from the YouTube community. Countless reaction videos and discussions surrounding the viral hit began to circulate online, with the YouTube culture vultures eagerly diving into the fervor surrounding the track. The song's explosive popularity reverberated throughout the online space, further fueling the ongoing interest in the Jacksonville rap scene. The beat is what people thought 2021 would be, and the lyrics is what it actually is. I've never got chills from how creepy this is, yet so fire at the same time. Dealing with the loss of loved ones is already a challenging and painful process. The situation becomes even more distressing when the entire internet is singing songs about smoking. Naturally, Foolio was deeply upset upon hearing Who I Smoke. In response to the song, Foolio wasted no time in taking to Instagram to show his fans that he had swiftly pulled up to the ATK neighborhood at Melvin Park, where he defaced the sign. This act demonstrated his frustration and desire to assert his own presence and defiance amidst the ongoing feud. Foolio found himself in Melvin Park, not only to respond to the ongoing feud, but also to shoot a music video for his beatbox remix, accompanied by Kojak. They dedicated enough time in the op block to capture an entire music video, showcasing their presence and audacity. Towards the end of the shoot, they even took a moment to relax and unwind on the swing set. However, it's worth noting that during that video, Foolio briefly revealed the face of the cameraman who facilitated this act of disrespect. This act, though bold, carries potential consequences, as it may have inadvertently marked the cameraman as a target for retribution within this ongoing conflict. This particular video serves as compelling evidence for law enforcement. It captures the audacity of individuals playing in the park, oblivious to the potential consequences and the impact it may have on the community. Some viewers imagined parents returning to find their children witnessing such behavior, which further highlights the recklessness exhibited in this video. Moreover, observant listeners pointed out that Foolio references a multitude of names in the song, to the extent that it appears that it's taken attendance in a class. While it won't go through the exhaustive list of names, it essentially includes individuals who have been killed from the ATK side, along with a few other names that may not be familiar to all listeners. Interestingly, Foolio later mentioned during a live session that he had only mentioned approximately 15% of those names that could have potentially included. This indicates the extensive reach of the conflict and the depth of his involvement in referencing those associated with it. However, simply responding with the remix of his own Who I Smoke wasn't enough for Foolio. Despite the whole world singing that they were smoking on Bibby, Foolio felt the need to take it further. He made his own remix of the song, targeting the usual deceased rivals and emphasizing that he was in their neighborhood on that same night, referring to the filming of the beatbox video in Melvin Park. But even that wasn't sufficient, or at least not for long. Foolio took a live session once again, this time to disrespect Young and Ace. During the live session, Foolio recounted specific details details from the scene of the original quadruple shooting. Additionally, he went on to list the names of all the deceased individuals he claimed to be smoking on, surpassing the previous classroom-style roll call and calling out even more names. It turns out that all this was leading up to the song and music video for When I See You, which served as a direct response to Who I Smoke. Released on April 23, 2021, When I See You takes disrespect to a whole new level. Unlike Who I Smoke, which credited the song's producer and video director, possibly marking them for danger, When I See You has no credits whatsoever. The level of disrespect is so extreme that, understandably, nobody wants to be associated with it, not even as a producer, director, runner, or even fluffer. There's only one person holding up a picture of his deceased friends, and even he wisely keeps his face covered. It's highly likely that even the print shop that made the poster for Foolio received backlash the next day. In the track, Foolio disses numerous deceased rivals, with a particularly harsh focus on Ace's blood brother Quan Wan and 23, who were killed in the car shooting involving Ace. Foolio concludes the song with a proper response to everyone still singing Who I Smoke, reminding them that Rollo died with his weapon for speaking on Bibby. When I See You quickly gained popularity, garnering around 2 million views in just 2 days, and continuing to accumulate millions of views to this day. In fact, the video performed so well that Foolio even went live to boast about his YouTube analytics, revealing that his song marked his biggest 48-hour debut on the platform.
Something that always went on, ever since everybody was little. So it's like, it's normal. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just normal. Everybody do it. Like, it's just normal. I don't see how everybody got so mad. Well, not to the world, but I'm to my people in the city, because
in conclusion, the songs Who I Smoke and When I See You may be catchy and viral hits, but the underlying story behind them is one of tragedy and violence. This feud between Young and Ace and Foolio has resulted in brothers being killed, mothers and fathers being shot in their own homes, and even innocent children losing their lives in the crossfire. As much as we may hope for a resolution or a shift towards focusing on music rather than beefing, the reality is that the deep-seated animosity between these two groups makes it unlikely. It's important to acknowledge that our words or appeals for peace can only do so much to calm the tensions in such a violent and entrenched feud. The pain and loss experienced by Young and Ace, Foolio, and others involved are deeply personal and cannot be fully understood by outsiders. While it may seem opportunistic to make content out of a tragic situation, it's crucial that we take a step back and examine the circumstances that drive individuals to act with such brutality. By doing so, we could shed light on the real consequences of being caught up in a life marked by violence and help the younger generation understand the gravity of their actions.